Graham Jarvis standing on the top step of a podium is a sight many hard enduro fans have come to recognise. But the win at the Red Bull Hare Scramble June 2nd, 2013 was something that some people, perhaps even Jarvis himself, thought they would never see. It was a win that was 4 years in the making.
The moment Graham Jarvis in hard enduro is a legend, you know. He won 15 races or 20 races in a row, and he's a hero.
Graham Jarvis is a very special athlete. He has been all his career, very focused, just an incredible athlete. I mean, his drive is second to none.
I reckon Graham's probably one of the most dedicated riders that I've seen over the last couple of years. Especially for a guy of his age, the amount of effort that he puts in and the amount of work he puts in physically. You know, he really pushes his body to the utmost limits.
I think I've got to go out thinking I'm the best, otherwise, you know, you've got to believe you can win if you're going to do it. So there's always negative thoughts coming in. You're always thinking about what can go wrong, especially in extreme enduros where, you know, it is unpredictable. But you've got to go out believing you're the best and you can win it.
Graham Jarvis's first disappointment came at the Erzbergrodeo in 2010. Disqualified as Tadej Black took his 4th win. But what happened to him in 2011 was a cruel finish for Jarvis.
So 2011 Erzberg, I'd say probably a strong memory. One of the biggest disappointments of my career.
Getting into the finish with this, you know, you can only imagine how it must feel to get to the finish and be absolutely elated to have finally won such a big deal, because Erzberg is, let's face it, a really big deal in the hard enduro scene.
And then for somebody to come up and say to you, you've missed a check, it must be heartbreaking. It must be heartbreaking.
But, you know, I was gutted for him because he trained so hard, and, you know, to get disqualified at the finish must be gutting.
You can see the excitement on my face, and I suppose I had 20 minutes of glory. So I knew, at least I had that feeling for a bit, and then it all went wrong. And then some other riders aren't too happy. One of the marshals said I'd gone the wrong way. And they awarded the win to Tadej.
But in 2012, Jarvis was back for more. No Blatzusiak this year, Jarvis was the out-and-out favourite to break his Erzberg duck. The unthinkable happened again. Jarvis is disqualified for a 3rd consecutive time. No victory celebration this time, just Karl Katok breaking the bad news.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It would have destroyed most people. I know myself, if I'd have finished the Erzbergrodeo first, to be told that I'm excluded for missing a checkpoint, I would be absolutely devastated. I think for Graham, 3 times now, he was told the same, and it's nearly got to grind you down. You nearly got to think, they've got something in for me here.
It left Johnny Walker to inherit the win, his first hard enduro title.
The second year when Graham was disqualified and I won, it wasn't that because I came into Carl's Diner and I had like a 14-minute lead, and then by the time I'd come out of Carl's Diner it was down to 4 minutes. So like I knew he'd gone wrong, and then it was only when a photographer told me that he'd been disqualified that I could like chill out and try and save the bike and just get to the finish. So when he passed me, it was just like, fair enough, you know, it didn't really bother me that much.
I think it was probably hurt more that Johnny won. I just didn't have a clue where it had gone wrong as far as I was concerned. To this day I still don't know what went on, but it doesn't really matter, it's done and you get on with it. Yeah, unbelievable.
And so to June 2nd, 2013. Jarvis returned once again as favourite, but his chances take a massive blow before the Hare Scramble even starts. He can only qualify for the 2nd row of the grid. It would take a remarkable performance to take the win, but it was a remarkable Erzberg.
one of the best starts of my life. I've not had many good starts, but probably one of the most important starts I've ever had. Just managed to get out from the second row into the base of the top 10, so the start was a perfect start from a disappointing prologue run. Probably one of the hardest Erzbergs we've ever had. This was a point where I first passed Letty, just caught him up and passed him. After everything that happened, riding round when I got a good lead, I knew I had a good lead, but I was just so paranoid about missing some of the tracks. Sort of, I slowed down a bit and just made sure that I followed every marker and sort of kept looking round really and just making sure I was staying on line. And then into the finish, I didn't want to believe that I'd won. I was still, even in the back of my mind, until I was on that finish with Carl, when he'd actually confirmed it, or even when I was in the car on the way home, I wasn't going to actually believe I'd won. Still didn't believe what had happened, and enjoying the moment. I suppose I'd had that feeling of riding the fastest round Erzberg and being the best there, but I suppose, so I sort of knew what that feeling was like. I just didn't have the feeling of all the glory after and actually getting the title.
Jarvis had finally conquered the Iron Giant, an Erzberg crown finally his.